So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here first, then I'm going to say void crop image, like that. So yeah, that's the method that I'm going to do. And then here now I'm going to check here, let me pass the file path, this file that is coming from here. So here I'll pass the file path, and then now here I'm going to check now if file path dot is not now, and then I'll crop the image. So here what we'll do is a wait image cropper. So let's go with that, and let's go with what Copilot is saying, and then we can remove what we don't want. So this is what Copilot is saying, but looks like it's the code is not wrong, is kind of wrong. So what we'll do is let me just remove this and then do my own code. So let's remove everything here. So I'll say image cropper, then put the brackets here, dot crop image, okay, like that. And then now here for the source, we are going to get this file path. We are going to crop this image that is coming from that file path, and then let's put the max height. Maybe let's put 800, and then max width, let's also put 800. Then what else here? Let's close it. You can put more properties here. So there's cross-axis ratio. There's all these properties here for compression quality. You can put all these. So maybe let's put the compression quality here. The compression quality, let's put something like 90%, like that. So that's it. So after we crop this image, we are going to initialize it to the cropped file. So let's say cropped file here, cropped file which can be nullable, and then let's have a cropped file which will be equal to that. So once we crop this image here, after we crop it here, we have to pop the dialog. So here let's say navigator dot of context dot pop. We're going to pop the dialog that this dialog that we are popping here is the dialog that what we want to do is once we click here, we want to show the dialog to show us whether to pick from gallery or to pick from camera. Or what we can do is we can show either the bottom sheet or the dialog. Okay, so this is what we are popping here. Okay, so let's put the pop here, but since we have that like that, we can create the its own method, so that because we are putting it inside the across async gap, that's why we have this error. So let's create the method here. Let's say pop the dialog. Okay, pop the dialog, and then we do that. So that's what we are going to call here, pop the dialog. So now after we pop this dialog, now we will check. Now here you can see that the image that we picked, we are putting it on this file image, but we are getting the path of that image and passing it here. That's where we are going to, because here that's where we're going to go crop image. So we'll pass this path for this. So I'm going to say final image dot path, like that. Okay, so once we select an image here, we are setting it to this final image, and then we are passing it to crop it. And then after we crop that image here we are getting now the cropped file. Okay, so once we check that the cropped file is not now here, so we pop the dialog first, we dismiss the bottom sheet or the dialog depending on what we will make. We will see about that. And then here we will check if a cropped file is not now, and then we are going to set now this, we are going to replace it with a file that we have just cropped. Okay, this final file image, we will replace it with a file that we have cropped. Else if it is now, again we have to pop the dialog. Okay, let's pop the dialog. What we are popping is this crop activity now. Okay, so that's how we will crop this file. So now it's time to test it, but to test it now, we want to, once we select this image, we want to show it here so that we know that it's working. Okay, so to do that, we have to come here on this where we are showing this image, which is the column, and then here this tag widget. Okay, so this tag widget, what is happening here is we are only showing this, but if we check if this thing is not now this file image, then we can show the stack which has the file image. If it is now, we can show this. Okay, so now let's do that. So here, up here, we're going to check if final file image, if this is equals to now, we will show this no change. Else if it is not equal to now, let's copy that and then show another stack. Okay, so this stack is not going to be, or let's put an else here. Now we are going to show this, so this is not going to be constant because here we're not going to show this asset image. Okay, so here what we'll show is going to be the file image, and then inside this file image we are going to show this file, but not like that. What we'll do is it has to be a file, so we will say file, it has to be a path. I mean file.final path, final file image.path, and then now this we can add a constant keyword here. So now that we have done this, we are ready to test this. Okay, so here I hope I wasn't so fast, guys, but that's how we crop the image, and then also we pick the image. So now let's hot restart and see if everything we have done is correct here. Okay, so let's hot restart, and then let's try to click here. Alright, so this cannot work because even if we click here, we haven't called this method. Okay, so now to call this method, let's go back here on this button now. So okay, there is no button to press. This one was just an icon. Okay, so what we can do is to change this into an icon button, or we can wrap this with an inkwell widget. Okay, let's wrap it with an inkwell, and then now on top here, on top, that's when we're going to show what we want. So Copilot is already suggesting for us. Okay, let's go with that tab. So it wants us to show the bottom sheet. So while we are getting this error, it may be that we have a constant keyword here. So let's remove it, and then we have that, and then we can have a constant keyword here. And then also here it says that instead we can use a size box, so let's use it. So let's change this to a sized box, and then also here let's put the constant keyword. Okay, now let's try. So here let's just see what this bottom sheet is doing. So it's returning a size box with height 100, and then under the column it's calling this method select image, with the first child here is a camera and the second child is a gallery. So once you click on the gallery, it says false. Once you click on the camera, it says true, which is what we want. So let's go on ahead and hot restart. And then let's try to click here. Okay, there is our bottom sheet, but it's too small. So instead of having the height like that, what we'll say is media query dot of context dot if we say divided by 5, which is going to be the half screen of this. So let's hot restart. Then let's now click that. Okay, you can see that it's taking 0.5% of this screen. Okay, that's what we want there. And then now let's try to click from the camera. Great, this is working. Let's click OK. Then we can take the photo, and then once we save, okay, now we have a problem because what has happened here is that we have called this dismiss dialog, okay, after it's going to the crop activity. So what we do is let's remove this for now, and then also in the else here, maybe let's remove it, because here we're assuming that we're going to show the dialog. Okay, so before we even test it again, remember that we're calling this only here. Let's also on this part. Okay, so let's also call it even here, but maybe to make the code looks clean here, what we can do is not call this here. We can create a separate method, maybe here. Okay, here we can say void show bottom sheet. Okay, we can show the bottom sheet from down here. Okay, all right, and then now we call this inside here. Let's paste that. Okay, like that. And then even here, what we want to do is wrap this with an inkwire widget. Inkwire, and then on top, yeah, of course we are going to show bottom sheet, and then let's remove the constant keyword there, then put the constant keyword here. All right, so this also works the same. And then now what we're gonna do is to just restart the application. Now let's click here and run it. All right, now let's click that and then click camera. Let's click that and then let's pick that. So now it's going to the crop activity, and then once we crop, you can see that it's putting there. But now we want to dismiss this. Okay, every time the user is clicked there, we want to dismiss it. So what we want to do is maybe here, once you tap, you can say we can dismiss the dialog from here. Okay, so all we had to do is just to call this pop dialog now from here. So let's just cut it here, copy and paste it here and paste it here, and then we don't need it here. Okay, And then here we don't also need to call it, because we are calling it before we even getting here. So let's just hot restart. And now when we choose, let's get from camera, take a photo, select, and then you've seen it already, it has already dismissed. We can crop this however we want. Then we have an image. Then also we can select from camera, but since there is no pictures in this emulator, we can select any picture. Let's cancel. So now when we cancel, we are getting this error. Now check operator used on a now value, because we want to crop what is now here. Okay, so let's fix this. So to fix this, first let's hit stop. Let's pass this path here, this one, as nullable. So instead of this question mark, we can put this. Instead of that exclamation mark, we can put this question mark. Now even if we cancel, we won't have an error here. Okay, so let's run the application and test it. Alright, let's try to select. Then we haven't selected anything. Let's go back. Okay, great. Now we have that error message, no image selected. Cool. Okay, now we have we have done the first part of correcting this icon, and this also selecting the image. So let's end this video right here.